Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show by people. Billies our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen like I got blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show my people. Billies our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that will feel happen under God blue skies. I love it make people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Billies, yeah. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Another day is here. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Billies, wake up, Billies. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for today, Wednesday, 14th of May, 2025. Wherever you are, we hope that your morning, your day is getting lifted excellently. We hope that you've got great health. Your vibrations are positive. Of course, we hope your energy is high, always. Space enough, flexibility, ready for you to be a part of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Wednesday morning style. I'm your host this morning, Mose, Hyde. And if you're to listen, if you're to watch, if you're on our apps or via social media streams, simulcast coverage, feel at home, this is your morning spot to start the day. People's Conversation starts right after we've completed the warm-ups, which features a quick look at the stories making the news this morning. But before we do that, we've got an update on the weather, find out what kind of forecast we can expect today. For that, we turn to the National Meteorological Service. We've got forecaster Francisco Wellington to tell us all about that.
Good evening. Generally, fair weather prevails and will support cloudy spells tonight and tomorrow. Showers will be isolated. In the outlook for Wednesday night and Thursday, fair weather will continue and little or no rain will develop. Winds tonight will blow from the east at 5 to 15 knots and seas will be slight. High tides will occur at 11:24 tonight and 10:16 tomorrow morning. Low tides follow at 4:17 tomorrow morning and 5:53 tomorrow evening. Temperatures tonight will drop to lows of 66 Fahrenheit up in the Maya Mountains, 72 inland and 76 along the coast. The moon will rise at 7:24 tonight, followed by sunrise at 5:20 tomorrow morning. In the sargassum forecast, satellite imagery and surface observations continue to show large quantities of sargassum over our area, and this trend is expected to continue for the next few days. That's the latest news with the Bureau. Do have a pleasant evening.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has warned the public that there is ongoing measles outbreak centered on Spanish Lookout, Cayo. There were 2 initial cases which were reported back in April, which were then confirmed through laboratory testing. The ministry reports that 5 new cases have been clinically diagnosed since, stemming from one of the initial cases. Director of Public Health and Wellness, Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa, gave an update.
We had found 5 additional epidemiologically linked cases. So that was linked to one of the laboratory confirmed cases. So it was in the same family, and these people were again isolated. Since April 27, we have continued to do our heightened surveillance. We've continued to send laboratory samples for testing. Dr. Bear can say, I see you have 54 samples have been sent so far, and the only 2 laboratory confirmed were the ones that we reported on. Now, moving forward now to what has happened over the last few days. On Friday, the 9th of May, we were informed that there was someone with fever and rash at a facility in the Spanish Lookout area. We visited and we took samples for this person, and these samples are in the process of being run. We haven't received the results as yet, but clinically, that person fits the clinical definition of measles. On doing the investigation of that person and following the trail and where this person has been, again, it's linked to travel to Mexico. We cannot say that this new case that presented on Friday is an imported case, because it appears that it's locally transmitted at this point, because this person has no travel history. This person has nobody in the family that has traveled to Mexico, but this person is linked to someone who had recently traveled to Mexico. So with that confirmation and with the assessment of that the team did on the ground, we determined that there is ongoing transmission of measles in the Spanish Lookout community.
Due to the suspected cases, the ministry strongly advises that visitors to Spanish Lookout exercise extreme caution, especially those who are not vaccinated. To safeguard the health and well-being of residents, the ministry urges that citizens should consider getting the measles, mumps, and rubella, the MMR vaccine. A booster shot is advised for those who had already received 1 dose or for those uncertain of their vaccination history. The ministry assures that the MMR vaccine is safe and effective, but not recommended for those who are pregnant, immunocompromised, or showed allergic reactions to a previous dose. For those looking to travel, the ministry advises that vaccination is ensured at least 2 weeks prior to travel. If someone suspects they have been exposed to measles, the ministry strongly advises that they get vaccinated within 3 days of exposure to prevent infection and to seek medical care from the nearest healthcare provider as soon as possible for further instructions. Typical symptoms of measles include high fever, cough, runny nose, red and watery eyes, tiny white spots in the mouth and rash, which would typically start in the region of the face and neck. The family of 24-year-old Mose had reported him missing, having last seen him on May 10th in Roaring Creek, Cayo, where he resides. They had also been asked for the public's assistance in locating him. However, the situation turned tragic after Garbutt's lifeless body was discovered yesterday afternoon in Belmopan. The family told the media that surveillance footage last shows Garbutt leaving his home with a man they believe may be involved in his death. His aunt, Rachel Guzman, said his body showed signs of possible torture.
Well, we got a tip that he was in Warhead. I believe that it was a distraction to distract us from where he really was. And so my nephews decided that maybe he would be in a closer area to the area where he disappeared from. So we decided to start to comb that area across by Mortomaro and this area. So we started down closer to the edge of the road. And driving through here, my daughter saw some birds flying over, so we decided to stop here and check. And we went through the bushes because we saw like something was mashed down, somebody walked through bushes. So we decided to go through there. And then when I told my family to go the opposite direction, and I went the opposite direction. And from about maybe 100 meters, I saw him there. He was already, his hands were up, he was stiff, he was already decomposing. My daughter and his friend ran ahead of me, and they went to inspect the body, and they saw like he was tortured and burnt. He was very, very, very humble, very family oriented. He was always with his kids. He has stepkids and he has 2 kids of his own. He was always with them. He was a family guy, basically. I mean, everybody has their past and stuff, but Moses was a very humble young man, and everybody who knows him can say that he was very, very humble.
The Public Service Union of Belize posted a statement on their Facebook page yesterday to clarify its current support of public servants and teachers. In the post, the PSU states, "We are not demanding a salary increase, but rather a restoration of earned benefits contractually owed to public servants and withheld due to past government policies. Specifically, we are calling for a salary adjustment equivalent to 3 annual increments that were frozen unilaterally, depriving public officers of compensation they had rightfully earned under established employment agreements. Public service salaries in Belize traditionally include annual increments, which are pre-agreed incremental adjustments tied to tenure and performance. These increments are not discretionary raises, but part of a structured compensation system designed to recognize performance, experience, and public service loyalty. However, during periods of economic constraint, successive governments imposed increment freezes, halting these adjustments for public officers. As a result, many workers lost 3 full increments they would have otherwise received under normal conditions. The PSU is now urging the government to acknowledge the debt owed to the public officers due to the 3 withheld increments, to commit to salary adjustments to restore the 3 withheld increments, and to do so without further delay, and to engage in good faith dialogue to ensure public servants are no longer penalized for circumstances beyond their control. Friday will be celebrated in Belize as Teachers' Day. Throughout the year, teachers at every level in every school across the country routinely spend their own money to ensure that their classrooms are equipped with all that they need to properly educate their students. Now, this week, it's the turn of students and their parents to help teachers feel appreciated. Vice Principal of Eden Seventh-day Adventist Primary School in Santa Elena, Cayo, Elisa Landero, explained that her school does what it can to make their teachers feel appreciated. However, she said that many students also show up with gifts for their teachers this week.
Here at school, we try to go out for teachers because we know that without teachers, there wouldn't be anything. So as administrators, we try to encourage students to recognize their teachers. So like from ahead of time, we already spoke to the children, okay, Teachers' Day is coming. Try to put up something important for your, something that your teacher will want. Save up, give your teacher a little surprise. And we have noticed that from other years, children do a lot. Parents, there are some parents that they really show appreciation to the teachers. So here at our school, a lot of teachers receive gifts. That makes me feel good because I know that those teachers are doing their part in the classroom. But as a school, when teachers they come, we try to surprise them as much as we can. We try to spend a lot of money on them, but believe me, this has been we try to budget along the whole school year to be able to save up something for that day.
Now we hear from teacher Ofni Nair Zul, who, along with his students, wish all teachers a happy Teachers' Day.
We want to wish all the teachers a happy Teachers' Day. We know that you guys are the ones that build up this nation. We are the ones who help create other professions. So we want to tell the teachers that we appreciate you all. And those who have taught me before, we appreciate you all as well. And thank you for your service. Thank you for giving your all, even through sickness, through health, to strength, to weaknesses. We all do that work. And we are the ones that we can say we are the backbone of who people become in their later life. So happy Teachers' Day. Enjoy yourselves. Don't limit yourselves to enjoy your day. Celebrate your achievements, celebrate your breakdowns, because all of those make us who we are as teachers.
Happy Teachers' Day. Thank you for your dedication.
And that brings us to an end of this morning news update. We take ourselves a small break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for conversation. You know that's the WUB. You know that's what's done. We'll be right back. You're listening to Creme Radio, watching XTV.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
All right, welcome back. This is WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Wednesday, 14th May 2025. Mose Hyde hosting. And we now invite you and depend upon you to join, to engage, to reason, to call. The telephone number 280-5848. That's the line where you can participate in the conversation. We love when you call. It, of course, selfishly, it makes it easier to host. So you make the job easier. But also because it really is important. Speaking personally, you learn so much when we able to get callers share their thoughts and views. We have our first caller of the morning. Good morning, WB.
Hello, good morning, Brother Mose.
Good morning, sir.
I called yesterday. And the same thing, well, I said, what the government deal with the union with, no?
Mm-hmm.
You know, increment, Sister Ryan and start, like 2.7% first, then 3% or whatever. You know, increment, so I give them the money. So the teachers do not accept that 2.7% to the cost of living and the waiting to go up than nothing to the first. And they tell you, no, no problem after that. Never negotiate any percentage below half. They have to give you at least 5 to 6% to start with. That's the problem when they always go through. They get it, leave it a percent, and they still have to fight to get it right. You don't have to get at least half, 5% or 6% to start out with. And they tell them, do not accept that proposal. You know, end up right back to zero. Cost of living go up every day, 2.7% or not. When they deal with them, you would have straight up 50% or 18.5%. And why you might look down the 20 people that are when they check you with only 20 people, but look for the raise when they get. You see, when they check you only 20 people, 300,000, that's nothing. But only 20 people get 300,000 raise, you know. All of them share that. Divide that to where they get. So don't make that trickle over there, simple as with 2.1% here the first year, then the next 3%, they are trickle up. And they tell you that's the way they are used. And I call him Mose and I explained that yesterday. Don't make them come with that. Straight up. Go back to the bargaining table. 5 or 6% in the first year, then I'll give me the rest afterwards. And they tell you, no, I end up 2.7% more with the cost of living. I like nothing with the cost out there. And they tell you every day you go to the shop, now 25 cents, 50 cents in the raise. I don't know joke out there, my brother. He's rough. But I tell you, rough. I don't know play rough, brother Mose.
Yeah.
And I had a man when they first like, they want to go about 30 yards to 40 yards now. And a man on the street, I don't believe my mechanical thing, and I could tell you, out there, rough. My office on the street there. So if I get a lot of information, people pass every day, that's the help me, no, I leave it, that's the way it is. And I have to try. If I want $2 or something about bread or something about, I have to show up because I know how you feel and people they take it. And I don't know nobody to trick me and they take me $2 to buy a shake up. The other people it's genuine pass back with their back bread that comes to mind. You know? So out there rough. So don't make them trickle up.
All right, my brother.
Please.
All
I
right.
tell you, brother, you take care, brother Mose.
All right, give thanks. This is WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes at 6:58. The telephone number 280-5848. That's the live line, and my brother there would make a great union negotiator. He's a tough guy. See, negotiating is, you know, it's not for the weak of heart. And brother, in fact, I don't think it's the first time you've called giving advice to union folks as to how to negotiate. It's quite a process. The matter that we want to, let me just quickly mention that coming up after our first break, we're going to have a guest. In fact, I can say it's going to be the legend Clinton Put a Light Burning. It doesn't matter what topic we're going to have follow on. It's always a very interesting conversation when we get that brother in. So definitely looking forward to that. That's after the 7:30 break. I wanted to just expand a little bit on my comments yesterday. I really wanted to deal with another topic, so I didn't really delve into the matter of the whole budget discussion. And every time we have the budget, I mean, we try to kind of, in a free way, make people understand what are the significance of the budget exercise. And I don't know if it make a difference. I don't know if maybe we get some people more interested in the process and make some people could look upon the process more critically and make them think of it less than just one quarrel amongst politicians where they're there for the most part provide theater and drama, melodrama, but that the process itself, even if the debate around the budget not at the standard we want, you not possible for you lower the significance, meaning how important the thing. You can't, the essence of the budget debate are one of the most consequential part of how your community run, how your nation run, and really and truly at the essence of it, the me and you business, that everyday people business. Yes, you got your thing where you do, but how your money will get allocated and distributed and how we and spent on, that for we affairs 100%. But I have one call. Krem, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah. Greetings, Brother Mo.
Greetings, my brother.
I'm very much happy to have you back home. I wanted to call yesterday with a queen, and that does not say that the sister did a good work. She did a very good work, you know. But I'm glad to have you back. Pardon?
No, I'm listening to you, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot to introduce myself, Ramadan.
You don't have to do that. We hear the voice, okay, brother. No lot of people.
Fear no one, but respect everyone. I want to quickly touch on the situation with the land of the free. But how comes we cannot decide to take the decision to say, okay, the cost of living is high, and so I'm going to find a way to minimize my expense. So here I'm going to put a solar panel in my house. Oh, I can't do that in the land of the free. I cannot do it because for me to do it, I have to pay the system. So
I think the way they have it now, you have to go through PUC for that, no? That's how it's set up.
Yeah, this is my point. So then in the land of the free, right? And the other one is, in the land of the free, I take my money, my small change, I buy credit to call, but here, in the land of the free, I'm limited to who I'm supposed to call. Because according to the trivia between the telephone companies in Belize, you cannot call this place, you cannot call this number because this number is not we company, and that number you could only call our number. If you call somebody's number, you will not be able to get in contact, or else your credit will finish clear. So I mean, to me, these things, I tell them yesterday when I call them, I call the company and I tell them, if you have a problem with the other company, nobody can be my problem because I spend my money. I'm supposed to have the freedom to call who I want to call. Would you say something?
No, my brother. I don't know if ghost on the phone, but I'm listening to you, man.
I put my money, I buy my credit, but I have to call who they want me to call because they have beef with the other company. I have no business with that. I tell them, no business with that.
So you have problems. So you have problems reaching one phone service to the other. Is that what's that?
Yeah. Many times, especially when I call your station, I buy the credit.
Right.
I buy a plan, And by the time I'm ready for call you, like all of a sudden like, the credit done, you don't have no more because you call this number, you call that number, and that's I know our company. I said, hey man, that's your problem, I know my problem. I'm supposed to be free to call who I want to call. I say, and that's why across the border to the west and to the north, when you go to those places, people that live in the north and people live in the west, they rather go buy credit across the border because it lasts longer, it's every day triple, and people could get who they want call. No, the final wrap. I know here nothing anymore about the horse. The horse was chopped by 3 young men. I don't know if it's all you needed to do was to pay $100 and then that's it, you could kill a horse for $100. I don't think that is correct. I want to remember what Bala Mutavaruka said, 1,000 years. But I know you say 1,000 years. I believe when somebody do something like that, at least deserve 1,000 hours of prison, 1,000 hours of community service, and $1,000 fine. Respect, brother.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'm over.
Thank you very much. This is Wake Up Billy's Morning Vibes. Just want to finish up on the budget exercise because what I feel is that this is duty, right? If one person understand that this process to belong to for being a participatory process, and again, what we are going to be told is that the decisions that are being made and the budget proposal, which is then going to be debated, all that essentially is going to be the people who have been chosen to represent us, and they will say, well, they have been chosen because they have had these conversations with the people, they know what they want, what their priorities are, and now they are just reflecting that. And so that's what we are going to be told. So if it is that what has been disclosed so far by the budget presentation that was done on Mondays, we know that, half of the money they say is salary and pension. And then you start to talk about, okay, what we're going to spend the money on, and we find out that, well, one of the headline making items that the money is going to be spent on is infrastructure. And we are told we need to do something because the infrastructure is an important part of building the country and important responsibility, and some of these highways are in a state of decay and they need to be brought back and they need to be made safe. And as a driver, absolutely being on a nice piece of highway is great. When the road is just done and you got your vehicle and no hole and no bump, you like that. So according to the budget presentation, drivers are a high priority, roadways are a high priority, and we're going to spend the money there. Of course, there are going to be other things they spend the money on. And so if that is the case, then what that is supposed to represent is that based on the consensus coming from the people who are really and truly the owners of the nation state, well, it no matter if we're not act as owners, it no matter that not change the fact we could be weak, lame, distant, we could be owners we abandon the thing, we not interested in the thing, but still make we less owners, you're still owners. You could be indifferent owners, negligent owners, reckless owners, but you're still owner. And the owners of nation state believes that everybody, the owners of the money that's going to be spent, that everybody, it is being spent on our behalf, but that we. So we have to then believe, at least the way it's supposed to work in a theory, that the people we have chosen have been informed by us, then the feedback then get from we that roadways are the highest priority, the highest challenge we have. I would say that nobody can deny the critical importance of proper infrastructure for business to happen. Get that. But one of the problems we have when essentially your economy that want borrow and spend economy. We have one borrow and spend economy. We don't have one. We don't have a producer economy. At best, we export raw products, and then we sell with beauty. That the extent to which we create economic activity. We have to defend for we expenditure based on getting monies and borrow this and borrow that for certain things. A lot of it come down to that. We don't borrow and spend economy, and we've been a borrow and spend economy for a long time. So we are now a producer economy, and essentially when you're the borrow and spend, now you're in a predicament with part. You have many things you want to spend on, you need to spend on, but you got limited ability to do so. So it's not like you're going to surplus. When you got a surplus, you could just give everything the appropriate need. You have to be very careful what you choose to be your priority, because you have to ultimately try and make sure that whatever you deem as the priority, that there's something where genuinely one cause one improvement in the collective well-being, that in the interest of everybody. That has to be the way it's done. And for me, more importantly than that, is to make sure that the people on whose behalf you're spending the money, that they completely buy in. And again, while I know that the way it's supposed to be, at the very minimum, and we say this every year, that there has to be a round of consultation before you reach the point where the budget get presented. Now, you would want, ideally, that before the budget get presented, that we go on, you got town halls in the communities and people get feedback so that they are able to then share that information with the people where they crunch the numbers and get the feedback from the people who ultimately, that really the shot callers, and the one on whose behalf they decide how you want to appropriate the fund, how you want to distribute these funds. That's how it's supposed to work. So, well, we have never had any kind of town hall, comprehensive, all over the country conversations around the budget before, but there have been moments, not frequent, and at least technically the way it's supposed to be is that you're supposed to have pre-budget conversations with, at the very least, the private sector organizations, the labor organizations, and then you kind of just say how inclusive you could be, so that when the budget is presented, it's really not something will come as any first time to you, because you know that on the ground, this that what people have been saying, this is what people are saying, listen, we have this as our high priority. We have one call. Krem, good morning, WUB.
Morning, Mose.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, is this Mose?
Yes, sir. Live on the air, sir.
Well, morning. Yeah, I listened to your program on and off, and this is my first time actually calling you.
Respect.
But I'm calling because you're talking a very important topic there, especially when it comes to the road infrastructure of this country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see that you take a different approach from others, because when you roads, the country opens up to tourism, the business sector feels good, getting their goods to and fro their destination, and everybody else, including myself and yourself, who owns vehicles, it's a good thing. People can get around and be tourists in their own country. And even so, in the cities and towns, when you have good streets, people feel good that you are doing something for what you voted them in to do. I still recall some years ago when a comment was made by a politician about we can't eat streets as sidewalks or run the money and things like that. But these are some of the things when politicians are out there campaigning and the rhetoric they use and get people all riled up to support them, not knowing that in effect what they're actually doing is something bad for the people, because I look at an area like the Hyde and some other areas of the city where there's still a lot of dirt roads, and dirt roads is not healthy, dirt streets is not healthy for one. There's a lot of pulmonary diseases and stuff like that in the long run. So it's a good topic. It would be good if at the same time, before, like what you said before, these projects are they're made up, that some discussion would take place with residents, town meetings or whatever. But I think that's one of the roles of the area representatives, that whenever they are creating budgets, they ought to go out, speak to their constituents, and listen to their feedback. I don't think any one of us.
So just so that we are clear, though, my brother. What I am defending, and I think you're on the latter part of your call, you've kind of brought it up. What I am defending is that there are times when the consensus position might not be your personal position, right?
Yeah.
And so let me speak personally. If there was a consultation process and there was a town hall, and I would go into that public space to put my opinion on the record, I would not be emphasizing, and this is not to say that I don't believe that there is a role to invest in infrastructure. That's clearly something that requires attention. It's clearly important to have adequate infrastructure. So that is not the question. The question is when you have less than your need. Like if you run your house need fixed. The car got issues. The children, they have they in a school, and then your potential would want invest in your education for yourself. You have all these needs, but you got your limited income where they come. So you have to really balance what are the highest priority and make how you spend reflect the things where you deem to be the priority, right? So it is not that these are not legitimate things to put resources into. The question is whenever you put something into A, then it limits your ability to put into B. So you have to make sure. So I just want to be clear that what I hope we exist in, like you do have people who really love that they civil part, their street whenever take care of for so long, they could sit now by a good street, and that inspire people. You have people where they believe in that. You might believe in something else. I believe that we have a serious housing situation, and the ability for people rent to a house, especially in our urban spaces, they become more challenging, more expensive, and access to low interest money so that people could actually own a home. I feel that one very serious situation, and so I would have that as a high priority. And so it's but then but that don't mean that because I feel that way that the way it's supposed to be. What I argue for is that whatever it is we decide, that it represents a kind of a majority position. And all the way I agree, listen, we need to do this and we need to do that, but the most of where we would have want to see we highways better, we want to improve, we want to safer. If that's the way people decide, then that's the way it should be, because that the people for run it. That's how I feel, right? That's the way they argue for.
But it's a good topic for discussion, and I wish that others would chime in as well.
So as a citizen, what would you have as the highest priority for public expenditure and investment?
Right now, I think health and housing are very important. Healthcare is very high. It has a high cost, very exorbitant. A lot of people, including myself, I pray for God every day that I drop sick because I can afford an MRI. So healthcare and housing, when you look at I live in Belmopan, and when you look at rental in Belmopan, it's crazy. You know? So housing is definitely up there. Education, health, housing, education, and you know what? Those are three of the basic tenets that the state ought to provide for all its citizens. You know. But good topic.
Give thanks to your reason for.
I listen to your show on and off. Normally I would be switching between the different TV stations on a daily basis. But
Yes, ma'am.
I decided this morning to call. It's first time, but it's a good show. Keep out I'm sure you're aware that your voice reaches out to a lot of people across the country and internationally. So I know that the politicians listen to you as well, and let's hope that going forward they take heed of what is being said, feedback from people, and when they come up with these budgets and make new policies, it is something good that affects everybody. And I just want to dream. Well, after they had a dream, they wake up like our former politicians, they say, he wouldn't have been a bridge and over family there. But let's hope that it's something that benefits all or most of citizens up here.
All right, my
So
buddy.
thank you. Have a best day.
Give thanks to your call, though. Enjoy getting the opportunity for reason. 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, and the telephone number is 280-5848. It's for the very same reason that I don't have the view that my opinion is more important than anybody else's, or that I am brighter than anybody else, that I believe in consensus. I can offer my thought and what I think based on my position of observation, meaning we part I did, the experiences where I have, where I close to, where I could say, where I could feel, where I experience myself, that shape my opinion. But it's not possible for me to everywhere at the same time. I don't know where somebody to feel where they in our remote village in Toledo, but they have as much say as I do as to what it is we for do and what we for prioritize. And for their experience, for their location, for their proximity, and when they're close to, when they're into, will shape what they feel we supposed to be about. But when we do the mathematics on it, when we put it all together, that's when we got one kind of, we got a better a compass, we got a better understanding of where power we need to go. Because when you have less than what you need, you can't make a mistake. Your margin for error small, because you're the borrow and spend. A lot of it the borrow and spend, right? We know commit ourselves to try to figure out how we become one higher quality producing economy. We still do products that are we ship out mostly. So we really and truly have to balance off what our needs and what our wants. And at the very minimum, the very least, my argument this morning is that it have to be based upon buy-in. And the brother say, you can't get up one morning because you had a dream and say, well, this is what I feel like we want to do this year with the budget, with us going in upon this. I think one great one great influencer upon the budget for be where the people there and where the people feedback they say. And it can't just be one ad hoc kind of informal, like again, vibes from a couple of people. You have to be deliberate and intentional to say, you know what, we got one we the reach out to, you know, or we got a Facebook page where I just about 2025 budget. When you go and put on the comments there, we want to hear one they say, and everybody, we need enough to put on a thing there. We want to talk budget. We want to make a TikTok video, but we want to feel the budget for high priority pan. Where we're supposed to focus pan. I want to, at the very least, show that fundamental respect to the fact that you will work on behalf of. That we have to feel that. That can't be a hyper. That can't be the theory. It can't be on paper. People have to feel that what they say have an impact on what you do, who's working on behalf of. That the fundamentally the argument where I make. No, I know they have to say I know best. I can't know best. I don't live in everybody's shoes. I know exactly you know, how we're supposed to ultimately create the best choices and best options for the limited resources where we have. Right now, I believe it's 26 minutes after 7 o'clock. We go to 2 Cents Calm, sponsored by Fort Point Security, and then we take our first break. When we come back, we should have, I guess, well-known Belizean legend, Clinton Pulo Lightburn. It's going to drop in via Zoom, chat with me and a little bit. It's always interesting when we got Pulo Lightburn in the house, so look, no move, or if you move, come back quick. Wake Up Belize morning vibes on a Wednesday morning. All right, welcome back. WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on this Wednesday morning, the 14th of May, 2025. Mose Hyde in the house hosting. And at this point in time, just me quickly mention, the telephone number is 280-5848. We have via Zoom, Clinton Lightburn, the legend. What's up, brother?
Who thinks Belize, brother Mose?
We need,
Well, I've been away for a while. Well, this weekend, that the opening of the basketball season.
could I get more volume? Hold on, Polo.
That's what we're going to talk about this morning, I guess.
Hold on. Get a little bit more volume for me now, please, make I could hear Polo. I don't know if Polo, you have to hold a camera more stationary though. You give me dizzy.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. Can we get a bit more volume off of the Zoom or no? What's going on? Please, somebody talk to me. I'm not hearing him well, so I just need to be able to hear him a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, Bill.
Yes, sir.
I know the hear no. I know the hear no. I know the hear nothing no.
Hello, hello.
Check. Give me a check. Give me a check there, brother. Polo.
Yes, sir.
I know the hear man.
All right. Let's go, Cliff.
Yeah, so we have put a light burn on Zoom. We're just trying to get the audio worked out nice, sweet, and so we could hear properly and have one good conversation. I mentioned earlier, it's always, you don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's always going to be an extremely interesting reasoning when we got the philosopher, the poet, and legendary athlete, Clinton Polo Lightburn. Polo?
Yeah, Cliff.
Help me out, man. I really know
Cliff,
how to go through this right now.
Cliff.
Seriously.
Let's go, Cliff. You know that John Street?
Could we just let me hear the team song, see if the problem is my audio piece, just quickly, man. Just. Welcome back. Hopefully we've worked out this audio thing. Polo, can I hear you now, my brother?
Cliff, you there?
Yes, man.
All right, good. Because I just don't like when that George Street, Cliff. You know, cream.
Yeah, Polo, I just have to fight through it. I know they hear you 100, but I just have to fight through it. Maybe we could, I don't know, put the audio on in the studio or something. Polo, first off, we don't know already that once we got you, we're not talking about one thing. So I make the listeners and viewers know that. It's not possible to talk about one thing when we got Polo like on the show.
Because in my head, one thing lead to the next thing.
All right, so first thing is when you book me, you say, yo, I really want to talk and give some guidance and voice concerns about, well, kind of just how, you know, I say, inconsistent and
the hills and valleys and the pros and cons.
I don't know if I want to be chaotic, but you feel like basketball can't find the rhythm then, like somebody that can't dance. You don't got no rhythm, and you feel like that's a major problem. Starting, of course, at the highest level of the semi-professional or the league that we have had, it can't find the rhythm now. It is going through another rebirth, another redesign, another rebranding. Talk to me, Polo. Go through.
Yeah, the problem is off the court. All right. Over the last 4 years, we have had 3 leagues and 4 commissioners. Okay. We had the NEBL in 22, in 23 and 24. We had the NEBL, the National Elite Basketball Association, and now in May 25, we have the Belize Premier Basketball League. So that's 3 leagues and 4 commissioners. Mose, that is instability. That is not stable. And it seems like this has been going on forever. I remember when we went from St. Ignatius, father had CYO, and there was a big rift between the president, then Phil Galati, and the secretary, Hilly Martinez. But Galati represented in Kateku, which was a shoe store, which had sponsored the defending champion, and Hilly Martinez was the secretary of the Basketball Association. Galati, being a devoted Catholic and supporter of the CYO, which meant the Christian Youth Organization, the church at the time, wanted to keep the games at St. Ignatius. Hilly Martinez, who at that time was the secretary of the association representing Boyne and Boyne, he was lobbying to take the game to Bird's Isle. And they sold us the idea of a wooden court. So the players, led by myself, we voted to go to Bird's Isle because that was our dream. But eventually we found out that it was all about selling beers because Boyne wanted to sell liquor at the sports arena, and the Jesuits didn't want to do that. So we ended up where we went to Bird's Isle. We sold the Bellikin beer. He also became commissioner of softball, and we had beer at the softball game. He was the vice president of the Football Association, and Bellikin Bear took over the football field. He was the president of the Olympic Association. So, and there was a division from the time you had players that voted to go to Bird's Isle and players that voted to stay. So the Inkateku basketball team, who was the last champion at St. Ignatius, which was when I won my first senior MVP, moved on to Bird's Isle and became Bellikin Wheels. So we went from a shoe in Kateku to a bear, Bellikin. And about, I would say about maybe 6 years later, there was another division. when the government changed and they built the Civic Center, they wanted to move the basketball. It was NPUP wanted to move basketball from Bird's Eye to Civic Center. And the people that was basically the UDP that was in control of Bird's Eye wanted to keep it there. So to satisfy both parties and not the players, we had games playing at both the Civic Center and Bird's Eye at 2 venues for the first time in history. And there was another time at the Civic Center when we had the first professional league, which Kremanala dominated. There were factions that was opposed to what was happening. And we ended up to the point where I remember one night we played a game and there was nobody at the gate. As a matter of fact, Beans, the famous Beans of Kremandala fame, was at the gate. I watched Devin Abraham, who was a junior player, ended up running the clock. I watched Try Gab jump the fence and became the commissioner of basketball and eventually the president of DFC. Now here we are today. In the last 5 years, we have had 3 leagues and 4 commissioners. It seems like this is the status quo. We need to put the players first. We need to stop making political and business decisions in order to run sports. The politician and the business need to subsidize sports and art in this country. We need to do the reverse. For example, in the last administration, the Sports Council had a budget of $7 million and over $6.5 million was spent on salaries and perks and per diems, while $500,000 was spent on sports. I've been running a program for over 8 years with some youth called Future Shock. And I started with them in high school, in primary school. And during that period, I've spent over $3,000, $100,000 out of my pocket. And only once I could remember the sports worker gave me $500. And that is when they had a big TV presentation of the support, and they were going to build the Mexican Center, and the Mexican Center was going to be for Future Shop. Well, lo and behold, when the Mexican Center was built, the first day we got there, there was 4 ping pong tables on the court. And they remained there until the Mexican Center fell apart. From below budget investment and bad maintenance, which is the major problem in Belize, maintenance. Whether the family, business, everything, that's a big problem. We are drop and go along. So there were days when we couldn't get the Civic Center because there were businesses, inter-office teams that had the court. Sometimes we had to sneak in and sneak out in between the occupation of the court, so now only 45 minutes. So the priority need to be on the athletes and most of all the development of the athletes. And we have to take them on from the moment they can roll a ball on the ground. I remember that's how I began. My brothers, they used to play in the CYO, and after a game they used to come to our house, which was 2 blocks from St. Ignatius, and they used to sit there and eat and stuff. And they had the ball on the ground, and I was a small little baby on the ground rolling the ball. All right, we can't wait until after the fact. After we go, and maybe win one medal and come back, then you want to show up and have a parade. No, man. We don't want no parade. We want energy, food, money on the table before, so that when we come back, we go have one bigger parade.
So you've described a scenario where there's been a lot of change, and you describe a scenario where the change has become, over the past 5 years, very, very rapid, which speaks to a bit of, not a bit, but significant instability, right? But you are talking here now, that is as it relates to the Apex League, whatever they call it, because the name changed.
Yeah, the Premier League in Belize.
But the league is not tasked with running the sport per se. It's not tasked with the development. So you have the league, but then you also have the federation, and then you have the sports.
You have the primary school league, which is managed by the National Sports Council, and the high school, which is managed
by the principals. Right. And so you end up with the situation where there's no rhythm. I don't know what I was caught off guard. I really don't know all the details as to. I know that there were some controversies going on, and controversies are not unique to Belize. I think we have to get over that. Like, you had a team, you had a NBA team owner decided after the lottery to sell his team. You don't get that report in the media, but the owner of the Portland Trail Blazers, in response to what they view as the rigging of the draft to facilitate a particular team, decided, I am out of this. You can go and find that, find it on ESPN. But the point of that is to say, at the highest level and in that business and in that...
It's internationally.
Internationally, no, the requirement is that leadership has to be strong, and if leadership is not strong, then the constitution has to be so strong that it can compensate for weak leadership. But leadership is always going to, if leadership is not strong, controversies are going to eat it up. Controversies come in everything where we do. Where we see that a failure to manage them in a way that, and to some extent, there's where your point comes in, that leadership has to know, their compass has to be based on what is our priority. And the priority has to be, in the case of the highest league, the stability of the brand and the product. At the level of the respective bodies, like the federation, the sports council, their primary value, their primary priority has to be the development of the human being, the development of the athlete.
And more, let me add this. The national, the Premier League is supposed to be a league to keep our national team players active, prepared, and developed. The previous league we had the law had some loopholes that basically it said that if you had a Belizean passport or nationality, you could play in the league. Plus one foreigner. Normally the norm worldwide is you have 2 foreigners to a team. That way the 80% of the team is homegrown. You create your own stars. You focus on the rookies they will come and the sophomores then when they come up. It so happened that twice I've seen this happen and the league fell apart because it couldn't be maintained because of cost. So we had in the previous league, we had unlimited Belizeans, Americans to a team, and irony of it, they couldn't represent the country. Because if you don't get your Belize, according to the FIBA rule, if you don't get your country's nationality before the age of 16, you cannot play for that country. Except for one player, they only allow you one person that had his document, got his papers after 16 to play on the national team. If you wasn't born in that country or got your nationality before the age of 16, you cannot represent the country. So we found out that 80% of the Belizean Americans that were playing, but I would say 90% couldn't represent the country. We had, I would say, definitely about 20 of them in country, and maybe only one of them, or two at the most, had a chance of representing the country.
All right.
So what I like about this new league is that they're only allowing 2 foreigners, which I've been preaching for decades. I don't know why we, like my good friend, I want to say, why we keep reinventing the wheel. They're allowing 2 so-called foreigners. One could be from another country, whether it's America or Dominican Republic or Brazil, and the other one can be a Belizean American who got his nationality after the age of 16. So that is very good. And what I like, they're talking, they have, like, each team is supposed to have one, I would say, under 20 player on the team. My take is they should have at least 3, even 4. Each team only have a roster of 12. Normally in the States or in other part of the world, when you play on a team, a college team or a professional team, they have 15 men on the roster. 12 can be on the bench, and the other 3 are alternates. And I would have the other 3 be alternates, be younger players that you develop. If you have a system, even if they don't play that year, they will practice with you, they'll know the system, and when they come of age the following year or 2, they are ready. And I found out, for example, right now you have some teams only practicing with 8 or 9 men because they are American and British American haven't gotten here yet, and they might still haven't filled the roster. And you can't prepare for a season without scrimmaging full court at practice, and you need 10 men to do that. And if you're short at 1 or 2, and the other team have a 10 man, that could be a difference at 8 to 10 points in our game when you deal with plus and minus and preparation. So I would suggest that we have the other 3 young boys so that they could fill in the void till that person come. As a matter of fact, right now I have here with me the youngest player in the league, Kelvin Cumberbatch. 2 months ago he was 16. And right now in practice he is the starting center for the Grand Brigade Dream Ballers, because their center, their 6'8" American, won't be here until Sunday, and they play Friday. So we were just talking, me and him, and I recall the way he came into Future Shop was him, Michael Caceres, and Christian Perea. They were 3 little boys, like around 9, 10. They used to come to practice with his older brother. And sometimes we shot a man, and they end up to become that 10th man. And now he's 6'7", and 2 months ago he was 16, the youngest player in the league, and the best big man prospect. And I'm in Danviga here, and I'm his agent, and I've been rooming with him. And I didn't realize he was so brilliant because he's very quiet on the court. But this guy's a basketball savant. He's sitting down at 16 and telling me about Dr. J and Will Chamberlain and their game and their stats. And on the court, he's telling the other big guys on the team where to go. And right now, he's telling me him and the point guard have the best pick and roll going, and the plans that they have talking to each other. All right? And I'm asking him what kind of student he was in school. He said at Mad Williams he was an A student. So all the while, this guy should be in high school in the States, and all the while, I didn't follow up on him because I thought he didn't have the grades. So basically, me and Dream Ballers discover goal. Right now, there is 3 players from Future Shop program playing for Dream Ballers, and 8 of them in the league playing for various teams. And every morning, most mornings, when the civic is available to us between 9 and 4, I take all of them there and they practice and work on their game together and they are shooting.
Well,
they are family even though they are playing for different teams.
I will say this. I understand. I understand the. I understand the point you're making. Again, I feel that one of the underlining issues, and I even mentioned your name yesterday. I said this before we got a break, Polo. That we unfortunately now have one culture where based on meritocracy, and especially in our sports, it hurt me a lot because we know exactly reward excellence and achievement. We get jealous of achievement and excellence because we prize the control, we prize the ultimately power.
Exactly.
So
if you have one status.
Let me finish my point, Polo.
Yeah.
Because I struggle to hear you and I need to fix this, but.
Now say if you have a status.
If the Polo no got the best basketball mind in the country, and nobody could argue that. No, I don't know that anybody could argue that. But we know assess Polo based on how good his basketball mind is. We are worried about whether Polo are blue or red. We are worried about which religion Polo into. We are worried about whether or not Polo outspoken or can be controlled or not.
How much girl Polo they get? I forget this one, the 16-year, the 17-year-old. They always trying to league this guy tell me, he said, Polo, I don't know why anybody don't like you. He said, you must then girl. I use the J word. So I just show how conscious this kid is. Just like you said, because he play with the team and he play in the leagues and he see the way the referees, because they're frustrating. He not one of the kids like Draymond Green. So I have to keep him off of the ref because the ref they step off in case the guy now one banger.
Yeah. So
we got Mexico there, he's saying to play against a younger boy. I said, I know the injuries because nobody know the bang. And this is our 16-year-old at the time. All right, Mose, go ahead.
So I don't know if I don't think you heard the conversation yesterday. Because I think they don't agree, you do some work.
Yeah, really tied up, they try to in our system for it.
Yeah, so what I mentioned to the public yesterday, I think that yesterday, is that we had a young man where a couple of years ago gone the Carifta Games and nobody may know he going, nobody may know nothing about it, and we just hear that one Belizean win one gold medal, the Carifta. We would find out that the young man named Dimitri Myers. And then we find out about his pa and how he pa train children there in Philadelphia, in the park. And
yeah, nice one very like powerful story.
Very powerful. Let me finish.
That never kill nobody when you hear about that.
Polo, make a finish.
Go ahead, brother, go ahead.
Make a finish, brother.
All right, go ahead.
I call your name yesterday and I want to bring it up how I call your name. Because everything can...
All right, go ahead, man, go ahead.
So, he did it, and then the year after that, he gone again, and he win it again. His father, now, because now he has demonstrated, I know the target. I train one child for win one gold medal like Carifta for Belize. So, and the father wanted to come to Belize now for help and for participate and for organize down here. Big mistake, Polo. So, this year now, I know that the Carifta Games take place Easter. I reach out to the bedroom and ask her how if they did at Trinidad and how things to go, only to find out that this young boy will win consecutive gold medals for we is not in Trinidad for the Carifta Games. I would then find out that another teenage boy named Norman Sutherland that Mr. Myers was instrumental in getting to go to Jamaica, to go to school in Jamaica so he could train at the country that is now considered to be the premier track and field country on the face of the earth. In fact, the youth qualified for Carifta, come in third in the trials that Jamaica for the 400-meter event and did not go to Carifta to represent Belize. Why, Polo? Because we the quarrel down here. Because we about the power down here. We don't know about the results. We don't know about where you achieve. So we preoccupied with that, Polo, in all aspects. Don't know whether you good at one thing, you know. Don't know whether you know one thing. We watch every other thing else. We not go based upon results, brother. Because if you go upon results, the people who have accomplished things are the people who have sit down at the front of the room. You can't go on a system where based upon who you could control and who are the right party and who are the right religion and who are the right complexion and who got the right kind of hair for you based upon who got the loudest voice in the room. The person who got the loudest voice in the room to be the person who know what it is to get the job done. So that's why you know how to spend your time coming on WUB, because who for to listen to you, know to listen to you? Isn't that the reality?
Hello?
Yeah, you don't hear me?
Got you, man. They broke up just now.
Well, I ask you,
answer the question again.
I ask you if at the end of the day, the fact that you have to end up on WUB for give your advice and give guidance, because who for the listen to you, who for the get advice from you, who for the lean from you, and not to listen to you?
More than I volunteer, you know, I volunteer for do whatever needed to be done free. Just pay my expenses. All right, like right now, I had to work with the set of under 22 kids at Civic for the Ministry of Sports. They asked me for prepare them because they have some coaches coming in at the end of the month. And I've been working with these kids for about a month. All right? And every day, I have to drive down from Boom and go back. I feed them. I have to go pick up man that Gungulung, that PIV, that Jar Street, that Kings Park, that Buttonwood Bay, that Jane Osha Boulevard, and drop them off. And we can't get the court after 5. Because the politicians and the businessmen, they have the court occupied from then till night. People don't play basketball. So the youth say we have to try come in during the day when they're busy to work. And that's our power with it right now with this situation.
We'll take a break and come back, Polo.
All right, Mose.
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the house with you on this Wednesday morning, 14th of May, 2025. Telephone number 280-5848. We have had with us via Zoom, we've had some bumpy parts because of audio, but we want to finish up with Clinton Puller-Lightburn, who is here voicing his concerns over the stability and consistency of his favorite sport. I assume it's your favorite sport, polo, basketball.
It's my favorite thing, Mose, like your dad said, knocking your own thing in his book.
It's your thing. So we kind of ranted a little bit the fact that, well, you are left no other resort to kind of come and engage publicly with these concerns because essentially while you are still very invested in the sport, you are not really around the table per se. You're not being treated as the grand elder in the sport. You're not being treated with the kind of reverence that you're supposed to be. And it's not that you want the reverence. What you want ultimately, I know, are the results.
Yes, but exactly, Mose. I'm too old to be looking for credit. I need results. I want to share the knowledge I have.
Blessed.
I can't take it with me.
For those listening and watching, what do you want them to be shouting for and advocating for? Those who share your passion and love for basketball and for sports and for the development of, because ultimately, it's not about how many points we score. It's about how many youths we are able to develop and make into productive and strong.
One of my first lessons I learned, Moses, was it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. It's like lawyers, they don't go to court to win or lose, they go to settle. I had to drop that analogy.
All right, talk to me. Tell me, what do you want ultimately? What's your wish list for the sport right now?
I would like to see, because first of all, the development program have to go through the schools. We have a lot of tournaments. Everybody's having tournaments all over the country and at different levels. The inter-office, the police, the religious groups, the politicians, the good guys, the bad guys. And these tournaments get more financing and attention than the two tournaments that's supposed to be our nucleus for development. That is the primary school tournament and the high school tournament. Mm-hmm. Because to make it in the US, all right, or to be a professional, you have to go to college in the state or high school. You have to have your grades. So you can't be playing pick-up ball, plus you have to be playing organized ball. You have to be disciplined. And I found out that after kids start playing in these tournaments, two different teams are lobbying for them to play. They stop showing up to practice. You know, they figure, well, boy, you know, I don't need for workout. But once you're in a school and the school's called and you have to show up because the school, you do the physical under the banner of the mental, because school's supposed to be for development physically, mentally, and spiritually. Mm-hmm. We put a lot of energy in the mental aspect with the teachers there, like for example, right now, where they ask for a raise. And then the religious aspect, that basically a church system. And the religious aspect, we have the churches in there. But we take the physical for granted, and the body is the temple of the mind. Most we have when it comes to, I hate to say it, but we have an unhealthy nation, you know, when it comes to physically. You are what you eat. And literally, then the feed we jump. The system. And once they talk about food neither, then the feed we jump. Because like you said, they want to keep us under control. Knowledge can be used to control or liberate the mind. All right? People on the top are all about controlling.
Right. You're the preach.
I am about liberating the mind.
Your wish list right now that for resources, attention, to and expertise to be invested in the primary and the high school
yes.
competitions.
And after that, to maintain, like what I'm doing right now, and after that, you will maintain your best under 22 players. You have them to work together. along with the national, senior national team players all year round. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, at least twice a week when available. And when you come up to a tournament, you step it up, you start the workout 6 days a week, start doing 2 a days. But you want to stay sharp. You can't play no ball for 2 to 3 months and then in a 2 3 weeks you try to get a team together. In the book of basketball, you need at least 6 weeks to put one team together. 1. All right. 2. If you watch when an NBA player out for maybe only 3 weeks or a month and get an injury, they tell you sometimes it takes a whole 2 weeks to get back in at the flow of things and the chemistry and all that. That is the period of time we work out. So we last national team we're gonna represent with Argentina because of the system. I know they blame the people that were involved because of a system where they commit, where exists decades ago. We gone there without one practice. The head coach meet the team when we get there for whatever reason. I guarantee you no other country in the world ever had that kind of experience then.
But before you go, I have to get your thoughts. I have not spoken on it. In fact, that day we did that, it's not even really something where people spend a lot of time talking about anymore. But the reality is that I don't know, we're in our fifth or sixth installment of the state of emergency, and we are now they enter the remix versions of it, and we hear the new commissioner speaking about, well, maybe what we need is a 6-monther. Maybe after a 6-monther, you want to hear we need a 1 year. What are your thoughts about the fact that we've gone SOE again?
Most, my take on that is that we need, with this, the way this society is structured, where we are sending fathers of pregnant mothers to jail. We are shooting fathers of pregnant mothers. We need to start monitoring the future, the youths of the future. From 6 months, from in their belly, make sure they might eat proper. They might not stress out. Because you got your man going to jail, no money to come in, you got one baby. That all that affect the baby. He feel your pain in your belly, you know. That nerve string connection, I don't know, joke. Alright, so he they go through all the suffering when mother, they go through all the depression, if you drink over, whatever. We need to have that way we need prevention better than cure. We wait till when they commit the crime. When 90% of the time too late. We have to focus on the programs, I don't know, ABC and 1, 2, 3. You have to build on eat, sleep, and exercise. The nature of the beast. All right, what more is, but what I want, before I go, and I want to give you the reason why the leagues, we just had this transfer of leagues, okay? A couple of years ago, they started the NEBL, of which I was honored as being the logo of the league. The league started out in controversy because a player was signed by 2 teams. And this created a bitter rival between these teams throughout the season. Orange Rock also dropped out because they had a player that Belmopan had signed, and they had also signed another player that 2 teams had signed, and the league had suspended that player for a year, and Orange Rock wasn't satisfied with the ruling, and they dropped out. After that, here comes, and with all this, the league got to a point where for the first time, the Civic, one game where the Civic had like close to 4,000 people. All right, the league, we had, after 3-4 years, the league had reached where we needed for it to be as far as the fan support and the attention. And bang, bring it in, boof. Here comes the graduation season. And they took away the coach from the league to have graduations. Now, when the Civic was built, I don't think it was built to have graduation. It looks like a basketball stadium to me, so I believe they should have priority. The previous managers, because the Civic also have new managers, the original managers, they prioritized the game. This manager, this setup manager has a different view of what comes first. Also, they had the Holy Democratic Union meeting there. Then we suspended the league for a couple more weeks when we took the under-18 team to Argentina. I don't know why, because the players from the league did not go there. According to the president of the league, who have just got off the phone and had an interview with him earlier in the week, they pay $5,000 a night when the Civic is used for a game. He said the bill last year was $150,000. I believe the government should subsidize it, and that money should go to the players and to team development. Anyway, he also said that one franchise alone lost over $100,000 when this lull, because they had all these foreigners in Belize not playing and still having to pay them. And that caused the league to have issues. And this year, the league, the NEBL, which I'm a logo, was the logo. They said that he told me he called like 3 different meetings with the teams and couldn't get a quorum. Nobody was showing up. So eventually, the managers of the defending champion Hurricanes, they came up with the idea of a new league, which is the Belize Premier Basketball League. And that is where we are today. The Belize Premier Basketball League opens this Friday with the Belize City Thunderbolts versus the Gangriga Dream Ballers. I beg all fans and basketball supporters to come out and be a part of this.
Let me ask you this. The man who is without argument considered to be the major architect of the modern NBA, Mr. David Stern, what was his profession?
He was not a commissioner.
What was his
That's
profession?
for sure.
What was his
I'm trying to remember his...
He was a lawyer. And I say that because the kind of meticulous work that is needed to design a system that prevents that type of collapse. You see, it's the the NBA is, as you know, we look at that league, the people who are behind their lawyers and accountants. There are consequences for everything, and if you're not able to create the kind of structural preventions for that kind of collapse, yeah, you have to go back to the drawing board. Ultimately, you have to continuously going back to the drawing board. But the problem is that I thought for a moment there you've had some high-level finance guys come in, people who are trained in finance and business. I think that's you need that. You definitely need.
Well, Mose, the first commissioner of this league, of which I'm a logo, was Chris McGann, who is one of the top financials and
so he was a finance.
And his managers in the country.
So he's a finance guy.
We had him and we lost him.
Huh?
We had him and we lost him. He was only there for a year, and then he was replaced by Glenn Gill, who was a former chairman of the referee board.
Yeah.
And now Glenn has been replaced by a preacher, Preacher Lyell.
Yeah.
So we went from a lawyer to a preacher.
All right, brother. I again hope that I have to hope, no, because I know they're anywhere near how they think you run. And even go to the games, you still remain you still remain a faithful member of the congregation. I stopped going to the church, brother. So I feel the struggle. It's not.
I guess you have come to the conclusion, like myself, that faith is hopeless without charity.
No, my thing is that the whole but goody only a fool breaks his own heart. So,
Sparrow,
huh?
and I'm a sparrow.
Oh, yeah, man. Only but goody. Only a fool breaks his own heart. But that doesn't mean that the interest and the love for the sport and for what it represents and what it could do is gone. It's just that one has to have a level of self-protection, no? But you're all involved, and I know you're even though you're complaining this morning, you're still up on the ground, you're still at the court, you're still the carry kids the court, you're still the try do it, and for that.
I make up my mind long time ago that nothing will stop me from my mission. But my job that we criticize, only say you get better if we accept it, then I say, yeah, boy, you know. Because sometimes because of ignorance, people think some people they do one big deal when they might only give one half-ass effort.
Yeah. Well, give thanks to reaching out. I hope that it's like if you not link me, I wouldn't even know that things will look for happen again and league the kickoff. Not like one time. People not really reach out. Everything that social media now, no. So
everybody do their own thing. Everybody got a podcast. everybody when me want to be you that you know. Everybody want to expose that, so you have to look for it that way.
Well, that's good too.
To get good results.
That's good too.
I want to mention the state of emergency thing there. We have to look. You got every action brings a reaction, cause and effect, and we have to watch long term, the future, and not just the moment. When you lock down their man for 6 months, them breadwinners for their family, one way or the other, we're not supposed to stay around to do the state of emergency for lockdown, man. Part of the start of the state of emergency, the pan trip on every block. For who want to feed their picnic? Them man is stressed out, their picnic is stressed out. We do more damage than good. For example, when you go to jail, my boy, for the first time, so when you come out there, you want to be a member of a gang. Because back then you got the lone gangs, you can't be no lone if you want to get eat up. And then when you come out there, you still have that loyalty and that camaraderie because then the man never got your back. So as far as I'm concerned, the jail is our breeding ground, our support system for the gang mentality. We need to face this reality and feed the children. Every child must be fed, educated, and developed. Or else nothing will change.
100 pound that. Pull up, give thanks. I gotta go to break. Legendary icon.
Respect, please. Peace be with you. Peace be with you.
Yes, man. We break, we'll be back.
Ichiltikal Belize, ya
All right, welcome back. This is WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Wednesday morning, 14th of May, 2025. Or telephone line 280-5848. We have a caller on hold. Krem, good morning. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning, Mose. I like the topic that you're on right now. And I had a scenario with some youth coming home from school yesterday evening. Me and my husband was at a mechanic. He do street side mechanic, no? So we end up standing on the sidewalk. And I'm talking about high school children, primary school children. They had to walk in between us because we're on the sidewalk and then the vehicle park on the street. And Mose, I was surprised that at least only 1 out of 5 students would bid you the time of the day. And that's the breakdown of our youth right now. And I find it alarming. I said, only 1 out of 5 will pass us or pass in between us would say good evening. And these are primary school children and high school children from the area that we were at in the south side. And it starts from the home. And they're in their uniform. They're not getting it at school either. So I think the breakdown is really sad.
Did you greet them the time of the day?
Yes.
And they
I
did.
had to, and they look at you and they walk past. I said good evening.
And they did not respond?
And they turn around and then like 1 out of 5 would have said, turn around back and said good evening. But only one said it first before we said it.
All right.
And it's so sad. And then adults do it as well. But surprisingly, the adults, they pass and say good evening. And we said good evening. You know? And I can't understand, is it in the home they're not teaching the right way anymore? I don't know. It's a really sad situation. And I think it stems from the home. Because when they go to school, they have to have rules. They do devotion, they pray. I don't know if they still do that, you know. But in the schools, they probably teach them manners. But where are we falling down?
Where did you learn to say good morning?
At home.
At home.
I got it even right now. Adults in my home, when they get up to go to the bathroom and one is already up, we say good morning to each other.
So
you know, and I don't know, it's so sad to me.
I say, like, I'd say for the most part, like, and I wouldn't disagree with you that we go back way upon that. But I would say my experience is that we still bid time of the day more than most places I visit.
Yes, that is true.
So,
because when I travel and go abroad,
then people don't do that.
They look for you or anything. So I could remember catching the bus and I stepped in the bus and I said good morning, and the bus driver said lady, and I spun around, you're not from here, and I tell her no, why? He said nobody say good morning to each other.
No, nobody don't got time for that. So I again, I don't disagree, and I think it's important for us to say, well, listen, the rest of the world could depend on their own timing, but we make we be we and how we been. Make we be like how we granny and grandpa used to be, and we great granny and we great. Make we not give away how we make the people who we are, right? And we love greet, and we love say even to a stranger just good morning, good evening. Make we be about that. That don't mean that you're the gone good morning, no.
Yes.
Because sometimes the morning really not good, you know, sister.
Yes.
But
I agree.
But sometimes even when the morning terrible for you, and somebody say, morning sir, like, oh that good energy, thank you very much. Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you not take nothing from you. Right?
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes I see sometimes some people put me on the spot because like sometimes in my own world and like I just like right the part that happened the most for me, the right at the gate, that's in Frencher. I had to come out there and somebody did walk past and I in my own world and then the person who would say good morning or good evening, I had to feel, oh shucks, yeah, morning or evening, because you feel shame, right? Because you say, yeah, I don't defend that. Like, absolutely, that's something nice about we that we still do that. We not do it as much. We probably not teach it as much to the children. But you know, we don't call like,
I think our level of showing respect as well, to acknowledge that our adults or something, and you as a child, and passing through like 2 or 3 adults or say, excuse me, good morning, excuse me, good evening, you know, stuff like that. And that like, you know, they get nurtured in at the home anymore. And that way part of a lot of the breakdown there with our males. I guess they look sad if they act that kind of way or something. You know, they stop nurture that kind of behavior, and I think that's a part of who we break down with who we black boys, I should say. Well, you know how to be, but who we male, both figures, no? Because then when they get nurtured home, they will have a whole different outlook. It needs to get more nurtured, and I think that's the breakdown. It starts from there.
all right, sister. Thank you for calling in. Yeah, man. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on Wednesday morning. Going to take a final break of the morning, come back.
For 50
WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We part ways now. But WUB continues tomorrow morning. Host Nuri Mohammed be in the house. We invite you to join and link and continue the conversation. We hope you have a great Wednesday. We salute the team here as always. Larry G at Com Radio, up at XTV The Glue, Mr. Cliff Lewis, our director this morning, Ms. Krista Flowers. Have a great Wednesday. Stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, wake up, Belize. 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 Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people.